Hello, ladies unlimited of Ottawa and around the world. This is First Lady K, and I want to welcome you to our March Ladies Night. Yay! This month, I would like to talk to you about powering up your life in Christ. Our life is full of choices and factors that affect them. By knowing what we are dealing with and self-actualizing our habits, we can power up our life and take back our power to live our purpose to the fullest in Christ. 1 Corinthians 4:20 says, I know there are some among you who are so full of themselves, they never listen to anyone, let alone me. They don't think I'll ever show up in person, but I'll be there sooner than you think, God willing, and then we'll see if they're full of anything but hot air. God's way is not a matter of mere talk, it's empowered life. The amygdala. The amygdala is the oldest part of the brain, responsible for scanning the world for worries, whether we want it or not. Each and every moment, this machine's job is to find problems. Once a problem is found, it flushes our body full of adrenaline and stress hormones, sending us into fight or flight. This can be helpful to us or control us. When we are aware of what is happening, we can take back cognitive control and make intentional decisions to power up again. None of us control our emotions. We can only control our reactions to our emotions. We need to take time to think things through instead of acting on our impulses. The challenge is our problem scanning machine and our serenity prefrontal cortex, which is our rational thought, is at war here, and we are the ones that must take the time to decide who wins. This is an everyday challenge, along with what is more or enough when solving these issues. Balancing what we are eating and what is eating us is in our choices. We will determine our next steps. So I ask you, what is the reason you wake up in the morning? We need to constantly remind ourselves of how blessed we are to be alive and know our why and our purpose to keep on going. Self-control and intentional living is God's way. Retirement is a new concept that did not exist before the 20th century anywhere except Germany, and it didn't exist anywhere before the 19th century. Retirement is a Western concept. In older cultures, older people didn't play golf every day. They contributed to society and their families. Retirement is also a broken concept, as it is based on 3 assumptions that are not true. Number 1, that we enjoy doing nothing opposed to being productive. Number 2, that we can afford to live for decades without making any money. And number 3, that we can afford to pay others to earn no money for decades. When we retire, we can lose our why and purpose. This same concept can follow us in any situation that flounders why we wake up in the morning. Psalms 68:35 says, A terrible beauty, O God, streams from your sanctuary. It's Israel's strong God. He gives power and might to his people. O you, his people, bless God. In life, we are to keep changing and growing, or we will give up or find ourselves lost in our amygdala wars. God has given us the power to choose a new way, a better way. Today's studies show that our connectedness to the world and socially is the single biggest drive for happiness. The number 1 reason why work is important is because it is social. Making money is a must, yet doing so has many benefits. Studies show we need to overvalue ourselves and increase our hourly value in our careers to enhance the time we have to balance life. The average lifespan is 70 years, and we sleep for 1/3 of this. This means we have a total of 400,000 waking hours in our life to power up and live our purpose to the fullest. This calls for some prioritizing and reward factors in our decisions. We have 4 quadrants of life: thinking, doing, burn, and space. Thinking means just this, doing nothing else but thinking. Maybe this means writing a book, journaling, meditating, anything that completely engages thought. The next is doing, which is little to no thinking, like hiking up a mountain, working out intensely, anything where we are completely physically engaged and our mind can slip away and relax. When we are doing a lot and thinking a lot, this is burning the candle at both ends. This is a productive turbocharged area and cannot be sustained. Space is the polar opposite of burn, no thinking or doing, maybe laying in the sun, for example. Happy, empowered people, or powered up people, have a healthy balance alternating between boxes. Making space for each is essential to our powering up and sustaining our why in Christ. Newton discovered gravity sitting under a tree. Niels Bohr discovered the structure of atoms by his dreams. Archimedes discovered the volume of irregular objects could be measured by water displacement while stepping into his tub. Why does creating space work? Let us ask ourselves. We must stop thinking to do and stop doing to think to the fullest. When we stop both, our brains get excited. Alfred Hitchcock, when writing, would stop his team and tell a non-related story. He said that they needed to stop working so hard and relax. This is where creativity and ideas come from. When we stop pressing so much, this is making space for the more and for God. Less time for decisions means more time for everything else. We need to save our decision-making energy for the important things. By routining out everyday simple decisions, we can do just that. We cannot spend our why time working out trivia all day. We have a purpose that needs our energy. Decision fatigue explains why people get angry or frustrated at little things. No matter how rational we are, when we are drained of decision-making energy, we pay a biological price. We may not even be aware we are mentally tired, as it is not the same as being physically tired. Powered up people make space by letting go of the little decisions. There are 4 ways that we can do this. Number 1, automate some decisions. For instance, making a list and sticking to it. Number 2, effectuate. Simply just do it. Don't overthink it, like saying hi to everyone in the office when arriving. And number 3, regulate. Manage your calendar by prioritizing. Debate is number 4. This is the big decision we get to brood upon and will have energy for when doing the rest adequately. Making space theory says the contents of our purse will expand to fill the available space. When we fake an early deadline and get things done faster, we make more space for ourselves. Insecure people make complexity. Real leaders do not need clutter, we need space. When we are of one mind and purpose, knowing our why, we can make space not just for us, but for everyone working with us. To be simple is not to be simple-minded. To be simple is to be clear, tough-minded, and self-assured. Creating space is protecting our mind from being overrun by the amygdala and other quadrants. We are challenged to block and remove any entry points to our brain except for the single one we can control. By doing this, we are opening up our mind to the space and allowing God in. This is the place where ideas, play, and freedom live, where greatness is achieved. This is powering up. So how do we make decisions at twice the speed? Remove choice. How do we have more time? Remove time. How do we add an hour to each day? Remove access. Yes, creating space means injecting space, but we must remove some things to get it. This process allows us to experience, reflect, and allow God's ideas to spark. This is our purpose, to power up for Him. 1 Chronicles 29, verse 10 to 13 says, David blessed God in full view of the entire congregation. Blessed are you, God of Israel, our Father, from of old and forever. To you, O God, belongs the greatness and the might, the glory, the victory, the majesty, the splendor. Yes, everything in heaven, everything on earth, the kingdom, all yours. You've raised yourself high over all. Riches and glory come from you, your ruler over all. You hold strength and power in the palm of your hand to build up and strengthen all. And here we are, O God, our God, giving thanks to you, praising your splendid name. Ladies Unlimited, I pray that you have been challenged today to make space in your life that you too may power up in Christ and be refreshed and renewed daily. God bless you, and thank you for being with us in our March Ladies' Night. This is First Lady K signing off.